science fiction on a screen so bright. Old classics and the new delights. The unapologetic geek will lead the way, with facts and fun to fill your day. Discussing every detail, every frame, from the eerie to the loud and the tame. Gig along with all that's great. Those Sunday vibes you can't debate. Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate.
Texas Night really likes that song, and I have her to thank for it, actually.
Yeah, I was one day going, Geek needs a thing, and I just, there we go. And he was like, okay, this section. The rest of it, no.
She gave me 2 different songs. I didn't like the other one, but I liked that one.
I got this. Greetings from South Carolina.
I know, I can't keep you from saying that for too long.
Oh no, you can't keep Palms from freezing and him from saying that.
Exactly. It's very important.
I need this opening too, by the way.
What?
I do. I need like a greetings from Cape Cod. It just doesn't roll off the tongue like South Carolina does. I need.
You got to find some other way of saying it, like well, not salutations. That doesn't work. You need to find something that starts with a C, so it goes with Cape Cod. You get the alliteration.
Okay, I'm not going to say that.
But this isn't Thursday. I'm going to just.
We all came to the same conclusion. Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, anyways, welcome everybody. Good to see you.
You could say, let's see, commiserations from Cape Cod. There you go.
There you go. Cave dwelling from Cape Cod. There you go. Something like that. Like I can't even word mouth talk today.
I know a word that starts with C. Estuary. That starts in the sea and works.
I see where you're at. I see.
I see what you did there.
I actually saw something on the news about a big giant shark being spotted off the coast of Cape Cod or something.
It was like 40 feet long.
Yeah, they got jaws swimming around. Stay out of water ponds.
They think it was a basking shark, which are harmless, but
they're completely harmless.
Yeah, but you're kind of shaped like
the thing was
you're kind of shaped like one of them seals, man. You need to be careful.
Or plankton.
Anyway, you want to say hi to people in chat. Snarky, you're always invited. I love you, Snarky. Boopies to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, Snarky.
Let's see. Just Carowin is here. Good morning.
Just what's up?
Channel member Texas Knight is also here.
My granddad was born in Texas.
Yeah.
At night?
Yeah, late at night, actually.
Oh, then that makes more sense. Awesome.
Ooh, very, very good, yes.
JC News Now, good morning. Northwoods Press.
Whoop, whoop.
Let's see. Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives.
Michael, what's going on, my brother?
He's a good dude.
Anubis.
Oh, hey, Anubis, good seeing you again, man.
GC, Gary Carpenter.
Gary, my brother. What's going on?
Dude.
And I'm Beethoven. You're Bach, and I'm Beethoven.
You don't.
I'm Squawk.
Yes. So greetings to welcome to Chug Chat and all that stuff. And Indy is also here. So, yeah.
And yes, you did. We can talk about it again if you'd like. I don't know.
All right.
So we're going to continue last week's conversation of movie songs. And to clarify, I'm talking about songs from movies, like actual songs, not necessarily the soundtrack. Although if you want to talk about the soundtrack, you can. I just want to talk about individual songs that are either written for a movie or became famous because of a movie. Like last week, we talked a little bit about Bohemian Rhapsody and Wayne's World. Even though Bohemian Rhapsody was written 20 years before the movie, it still became famous again because of the movie. That kind of thing. That's what we're really talking about. And it is movies. I do plan on doing one for TV show themes, but it's not this episode. That's going to be in the future.
The future. Oh my gosh.
The future. And yes, Gary Carpenter, R.I.P. Hot Lips. You will be sorely missed.
Oh yes. Hot Lips. Whew.
Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And since Thrash and I were on last week, we will start with Sarah.
Oh, that's me.
That is you.
Okay, so I watched off and on last week. I had a migraine all day, so I missed Pond's show. It was not my favorite Sunday. However, I do have to say one of my favorite songs that I remember from like when I was a kid was Mr. Bluebird's On My Shoulder. Like that one from Song of the South.
Zippity Doodah.
Zippity Doodah. Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I saw it and I actually enjoyed it, but then I was a dumb kid, so what do I know? But that song, like, when I would watch like the Disney Channel, like when we had it for like a minute, right? When I was a little kid. Yeah. Well, they had the Mickey Mouse Club, right? They'd always be like rollerblading to that song, and I was like, rollerblading is awesome anyway, so I had to do that too. But yeah, I was like, Mr. Blue. I could never remember as a kid where movie I saw it from until I got older. And I'm like, oh, the song they made us all sing, we're not allowed to talk about. Anyway, so Mr. Blue On My Shoulder. I love that song. One of my favorite songs as a kid. It's a good movie.
Yeah. it's great. I like songs like that, like really simple, songs that are kid friendly. I think we all grew up loving at least one. Like for me, it was the song from Peach Dragon. Of course, now I can't remember it. What?
Bind 'em up, grind 'em up. That song.
That's a good song. I liked it. Yeah. Over the Rainbow. We talked a little bit about that last week, I think.
Yeah, how they were going to cut it.
Yeah.
On the other note, Wizard of Oz is one of the few musicals that don't make me physically throw up.
That's true. That's because like I feel like the musical numbers in Wizard of Oz don't overstay their welcome. They're relatively brief. Aside from Yellow Brick Road is really long, but all the rest of them are pretty short.
I have to put some kind of phenomenally hard thing to accept a musical. They always just, oh God, here they go singing again.
Well, it's like West Side Story. I mean, that's what
there you go.
But they prance around and sing. It's like that's not really gang activity, if you ask me.
Well,
the word that killed it for me was prance around. Prancing around. I don't want no part of it. Not into prancing, dude. I'm not.
I prance.
I don't prance.
I
say man.
I play all the time. That's what I do. Because I can't spell right, and now that's what I do.
I can't spell plie, so.
Well, that was an accident. I'm like, look, I can actually spell that word correctly, but play cannot. Wow.
Gore Vidal could not recite the alphabet A to Z. He had some mental block. Yeah.
Thank you, Anubis. I have the T-shirt. Pons has the actual Godzilla. I also have another one back there, but whatever. I've also got Jet Jaguar. You can actually see him.
It's actually such a really good topic you picked because there's so many different ways you can go with this topic. You can go with soundtracks, like really good soundtracks, that just based really good music based in the movie. You can go with theatrical soundtracks, which has a lot of music stuff like Jaws, dun 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 dun. Or you can go with soundtracks that actually are incorporated into the acting of the movie, like Spinal Tap, which is actually another musical movie I can tolerate.
All right.
You get a lot of variety with that.
There you go. All right.
Okay, so do you have a choice, Dan, to pick a song?
Yeah, I was. So,
I thought you were leading into a song.
Well, okay, I didn't know it was my turn yet. I didn't know who was doing
now.
That. But I'll take it because there was this movie that come out called Grosse Point Blank. You familiar with it?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
This was the first movie because I'm a metalhead. I like T-Rex, and I was in Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath and Kiss. This was the first movie I was watching where the soundtrack popped on with some kind of new wave and alternative rock that I hadn't heard. And I started going like, well, that's not too bad to be, the different kind of music that I listen to. When you talk about the Specials or the Clash, I think it was the first time I ever really heard the Clash. And then I went and bought
Really?
Clash albums and got all into the Clash. I think I'd heard like 2 songs before that by them.
Weird.
But the one that really got me, and this is a band that stays with me to my heart. I even still love the song. And it was my first introduction to a band called Violent Femmes.
Violent
I
Femmes.
hate that last word, Violent Femmes. But they did a song called Blister in the Sun.
Which
And to
is
this day,
one of the raunchiest songs ever written.
It's one of my favorite songs on earth, man.
It's a great tune. It still pops up
Martin
on my
Lee,
YouTube music when
a
I'm in the car.
metalhead would pick that in his top 10 songs of all time that he loves.
Is very unexpected from you, yes.
And I blame that movie on it. And I really,
And it's funny, that song was actually in a Wendy's commercial a couple years ago. And I remember thinking, do they know what it's about?
John Cusack, yeah.
John Cusack. I love this guy. I think he's a great actor.
And I feel like that was like,
and he don't
around
the
the
kind of
best time
movies
for
I
John
usually
Cusack.
watch.
that was a great time for John Cusack movies because it was like, I think a year or two before or after he did High Fidelity, which is probably my favorite.
I like that too. That had a
Lots
really
of great
good
music
sound.
in that one.
That had a really great soundtrack too, by the way.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
almost have to.
But
Yeah, to take place in a record store.
This
Yeah.
could be Grosse Pointe Blank could be John Cusack's best performance in a movie to me. His character was over the top, a hit man with a problem. You know, it was just so great.
And Minnie Driver was in it. Yeah.
It had a couple other good points.
Love Minnie Driver.
Yeah, me too.
So that's
Well,
my
the first
choice
time I
for
ever heard
this
that name,
round.
Minnie Driver, as a kid, I thought it was a Tool. So I
thought it was a song by Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh Lord!
Um,
Well, that's my choice for this round.
I even liked Minnie Driver. Speaking of musicals, I liked her in the movie version of Phantom of the Opera, which I actually don't like the movie version of Phantom of the Opera, but I really
don't
like Minnie
that
Driver
at all.
in it. She's a great Carlotta. Anyway, I'm going to make my choice. And since Thrash already mentioned Simon and Garfunkel, I guess I'm going to talk about the soundtrack to The Graduate. There's two things. The songs are fantastic. I mean, Scarborough Fair, Mrs. Robinson. I mean, these are great songs, and they are awesome. But this is a case of a movie that plays Scarborough Fair so many times that by the end of the movie, you hate it. At least I do. I get so sick of hearing that for the opening of Scarborough Fair. Are we going to Scarborough Fair? I'm like, shut up! I heard it already.
Oh, okay. It's a movie from 1967. I saw once 40 years ago. Okay.
You've only seen The Graduate once? Wow. Weird.
I've seen The Graduate like.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big Tootsie Boy fan. I'm not a Dustin Hoffman guy.
Fair enough.
And the funny thing is, when you watch The Graduate, I know it's a coming of age film and all that. He's such a jerk.
He
By
is.
the end of the
He's
movie,
a total.
I'm trying to think.
You want Elaine to run off with the fraternity brother.
I gotta say it. I'm trying to think of a Dustin Hoffman appearance like Rain Man or whatever that didn't make me want to pull my hair out, scream, and break my television. Just name one for me, please. There was one where he was a hero and saved some people on the airplane and didn't want the popularity for doing it.
I thought he was actually good as the skeevy commercial producer in Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog. That's actually one of his best performances.
I love his appearance in that.
Great underrated movie.
The movie's called Hero in 1992. He saves people on the airplane. That's the only performance in a movie I can think of that Dustin Hoffman did not make me gag.
I do remember that. I don't remember the name of it, Dan, but I do remember that now you mention it. Yes. I do remember that now. And someone else takes credit.
I don't think he's like a fantastic actor, but I do like him.
Oh, it's called Hero. No wonder I couldn't think of it. That movie where he's a hero. What's it called?
The Hero
that's
movie,
what got me too. I was thinking, I know he was a hero. I have trouble with not remembering names. That's why I got the Google machine right here beside me.
I feel like The Graduate is one of those movies that a lot of people kind of miss the point. That like the main character is so full of himself, and he's like hasn't entered the real world yet, and he doesn't know what he's going to do with himself, and he's so wrapped up in himself that he is a jerk. You're not supposed to think he's a good dude. You're not supposed to root for him. He's not supposed. Anyway, that's a whole other subject.
That's every character he plays.
I liked him as Captain Hook.
Hey, yeah. There's 2 movies he didn't make me sick in, but Robin Williams saved that movie, not him.
I mean, yeah, Robin Williams was definitely the standout star. But I mean, there's a lot of great actors in that movie.
Wait, no, think about it. There's another movie called Species. I mean, no. It's another movie where he's the monkey and the virus thing.
Outbreak,
which is probably his best movie ever, and it's probably the only performance he did that I actually can say, damn, I like that movie.
When does that turn 30? Because I love that movie.
Outbreak was like, I saw that movie trailer before it was out, and I went to a Star Trek convention in 8th grade. It was awesome.
Oh, it's already 30 years old. I can cover it. Awesome. Put that on the short list.
When did this show become a public hating for Dustin Hoffman?
I don't know. I love Dustin Hoffman.
I hate Dustin Hoffman. I just don't.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, I just don't like his acting. I just don't like the way he portrays characters. I don't like his little inbred looking face. That's just a few things about him that I don't like.
It's ironic because I feel like the movie that really made him, like Marathon Man. I mean, The Graduate is really a movie that made him, but then Marathon Man, I feel like he's terribly miscast in Marathon Man. There's so many other actors who could have done a better job in that role.
And there's that wonderful story where he deliberately doesn't eat or sleep for 2 days so that he can look tortured.
I love this story.
And Olivier said, well, that's commendable, but why couldn't he just act?
I point out, if he did a performance that I liked, I will congratulate that too. Like Outbreak was probably his best movie. He was really good at that movie.
Yeah.
To be a whiny little shit,
Okay. So we were talking about The Graduate.
Guys, I'll be right back. Either the lawnmower's here or my shed just collapsed. I'll be right back.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Wow.
Deal with your shed.
It's probably a big shark coming up out the ocean and chopping on something.
Yeah, that shark is attacking his home.
It's a land shark.
Some water right behind his house, like a little inlet or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I
saw the water rise.
Of like when his
the water's rising.
Right, floods.
I saw the video.
Look, we could zoom in on his books. Oh, she's back. We didn't say anything.
Your shed, okay? We were worried about the shark.
It was neither, actually. Apparently, my neighbor is mowing his lawn, but with a particularly loud machine, so it sounds like it's on my deck. So
that kind of worries me today. I hope they don't show up to cut my neighbor's grass. It's about knee high over there.
And Gary, Sir Laurence Olivier was great in everything. One of the greatest actors who's ever lived.
I even like in the World at War, which is my favorite documentary series of the Second World War of all time. He does a phenomenal job reading it. It's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I saw a Sir Laurence Olivier movie. That had to be the 70s or something, right?
Yeah, because he died in like early 70s.
79, I want to say, or 80. Or
ironically, I've seen a bunch of Abbott and Costello movies, even like over the last year, for some reason.
I was gonna do like a whole retrospective on the Abbott and Costello Universal horror movies, but then Universal started to hate my YouTube channel, so screw them.
Right? Universal's big.
Oh, now I remember. I was around a lot of children over the last 6 months, so I decided to torment them with movies from my childhood.
I don't need to promote my Lawnmower Man review. It was just a short. My review was like months ago. I should promote, however, my Johnny Mnemonic review, which is going to drop at 2:00.
Ooh.
I don't think any of the songs on that soundtrack were famous, although I did own that soundtrack when I was in high school. So
I owned a bunch of soundtracks. Shockingly, I owned a bunch of musical soundtracks like Oklahoma.
You're such a contradiction, man.
Well, I worked at a radio station, and they were cleaning out the storage room, and they give me all the old records. I had like 1,000 records I didn't want. I sold them at the flea market.
Okay,
a long time I had a bunch of records.
It is now your turn.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I lost track. I'm actually going to go with one of my favorite and possibly the quintessential 80s movie of all time, Repo Man.
Of course.
I love Repo Man. I mean, when I tell people, I go, when you want to get a feel for what the 80s were like, watch Repo Man. It's like bizarre and over the top, but it hits all the bases. And the soundtrack on that movie was absolutely phenomenal. The Spanish cover of Danger Man theme
yes.
is outstanding. That haunting Reel 10 instrumental is really, really good. But of course, you can't talk 80s movies without talking Iggy Pop. And Iggy Pop, of course, did the theme song for Repo Man, because I'm a Repo Man, which is an absolutely outstanding song. And the weird thing about Iggy Pop is he did way more soundtracks than you'd realize. Or at least music of his popped up on soundtracks. In fact, I think the first time I listened to Iggy Pop was on the Rock and Roll soundtrack a couple years earlier.
When he said it.
Oh, excellent!
That was a cool cartoon, man. That's all.
It really was, and that too had a good soundtrack. But I digress. But I have to go with Repo Man, and specifically Iggy Pop's song "Repo Man," which is a definite earworm.
Now, Iggy Pop is fantastic, and he's done a lot. You're right. He's done a lot of movie soundtracks. I mean, I'm really late to the Iggy Pop party. Like, I didn't actually learn about Iggy Pop until Train Spotting, the song "Perfect Day." And then, like, from there, I opened that can of worms and I went back and I listened to a whole bunch of Iggy Pop, and I became a huge fan. And then he showed up in Star Trek. Like, I love Iggy Pop. He is fantastic.
Amazing. Although I must agree with you, the Susie the Banshee's cover of The Passenger is probably a little bit better, but there's no bad version of that song. Don't hate me, I even like the David Hasselhoff version of that song. I can't stand David Hasselhoff musically.
We just earned points in Germany. So.
I like his cover of whatever it was I was talking about.
I got to say this real quick. You're talking about Rock and Roll. Do you remember this character from Rock and Roll?
No.
Isn't that from that movie? What is
Ratatouille.
That? No. I can't think of it. Anyway,
that favorite movie of ours.
Yeah, the Pretender.
Okay, this guy from Rock and Roll, right here.
What are you doing?
Yeah, that's two different people, though.
Yeah,
completely different. They're both rat-based.
Yeah, that was flushed away, right?
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Remember this guy?
Yes, him I remember.
Who did the voice for him? Do you know?
Oh.
I don't mean it. I was thinking this guy looks and sounds just like Jimmy Fallon. Just saying.
Ugh, gross.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't think Jimmy Fallon was born at the time.
That's what I'm saying. It look like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of rock and roll, did you hear like all the masters of the soundtrack were burned in like this warehouse fire? And that's why it's so hard to find the soundtrack to rock and roll?
No, never heard that.
No, take my word for it.
Word taken.
But yes, the Susie and the Banshee version of The Pretender is, I think, a little bit better. And Iggy Pop agrees. Iggy Pop also thinks it's better than his own version. Which I think is it's very cool when an artist is willing to concede that kind of stuff. And Iggy Pop is nothing if not cool. He's the definition of cool, really.
He really is. He truly is.
And that soundtrack for Repo Man, I think that's the soundtrack that introduced me to Suicidal Tendencies. They were yeah.
Which I don't think you can say on YouTube anymore.
Good
yes.
Point. Unaliving tendencies.
Unaliving tendencies.
Self-harm tendencies.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
Oh, and Brogu also likes my Godzilla shirt. Thank you, Brogu. And always good to see you, Brogu.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
I got a shirt on. Yeah.
Darn tootin' you do.
I know, but TOS to be like, this isn't Thursdays on OnlyFans, so can't.
It's gonna be 106 in California next Sunday, so you should probably wear like a bikini top.
Oh yeah, so I'll be sure to give everybody a call.
Yeah, honestly, I think I got it at it was probably something like Target or Walmart, or maybe if I was feeling weird, maybe I got it at like Spencer's or Hot Topic.
It don't matter where you got it, man. You got a Godzilla shirt. That's just cool.
Exactly. I got a Godzilla shirt. It's awesome.
Why are you wearing pawns on your shirt? That's crazy.
Because he's a fan.
I Godzilla shirt. I ain't got one.
I don't got one either.
I have a Thrash shirt, but it's ripped, and I can't wear it on stream. I just wear it as a pajama shirt now.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was gonna ask what we were doing, but then I thought maybe that's probably not a good topic for today's show.
I was role playing as Hulk Hogan. You know, it happens.
Ah, okay.
You estrange yourself from your children? Ooh.
I have a hat, not for Godzilla, but I have a Mothra hat. I don't wear it very often because it doesn't fit quite right, but I do have a Mothra.
Yeah. Mothra. Yeah.
Mothra. Yeah. Oh, now I'm gonna have that stick. Thanks.
Every time someone's mentioned Mothra, I have to do that. It's like some like emotional block. I don't know what it is, but
My son was singing that song when he was like 6. It was so cute. He would just walk around going, Masura, yeah, Masura.
That's adorable.
I've been annoying everybody all week with Whistle Stop from the cartoon Robin Hood thing.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It took me a second. Okay, so Sarah, your turn.
Oh, okay. Well, since we're talking about like songs from like movies and stuff, well, one of my favorite ones, believe it or not, is from Star Trek. Okay. Yeah, it's the Klingon, theme, right? Whenever time the Klingon is going to come and attack, they just let you know about it, right? You go, yeah, it's great. Love that. Some of my favorite music of all time. That and Imperial March, you play them together and you're just like, yeah, we're going to die. It's awesome. I love it.
What an interesting choice. You are truly a bigger nerd than I.
I get nerdier.
Task.
If I was going to say Star Trek theme, anything, it would have been the one from Enterprise with an actual song, but okay.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Look,
we are not talking about that song.
That's a great song for radio play. That is true. Okay.
I don't like it when my ears
God, I almost stood up when I said that.
Look, dude, there's way worse songs than that. There, Geek. Let me. Do I need to go?
There's a reason it's the only time Star Trek has ever used that kind of music in its opening.
You know what my favorite thing from Star Trek musically is? It's where her is standing there in this tight ass outfit singing on a hill to some.
Oh yeah, Star Trek 5. Yeah, Star Trek 5. There. Yeah,
that's the only song from Star Trek that ever said, "Oh, okay, yeah, right."
It's possibly the only good scene in the movie too.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know how I feel about Star Trek 5. Yeah. Every time I see it, I hate it a little more.
And I still think it's way better than the first one.
That wasn't the undiscovered. That wasn't the undiscovered movie. That was
discovered movie.
That was the other one. What was it? The final
frontier.
Well, the first one. It's not that it's bad. It's just that it isn't particularly good. It's just not especially captivating.
Yeah, they told Robert Wise to try to make 2001.
Did anybody else just like Cybok was too cool and stole the whole movie?
Cybok was pretty cool. I did like Cybok.
Yeah, he was like he was too cool to be the bad guy. You couldn't hate him like you do Khan. This guy was too cool. I'm a Vulcan who laughs.
In TNG, right? There's an episode where Picard's trapped in escalator. Oh boy. Anyways, a turbo lift with a bunch of kids, right? And they have to climb out of it, and they need a climbing song. And he's all, "You guys know any songs are like the Laughing Vulcan and his dog?" I wonder if that song's supposed to be about Cybok. That's what I wanted to know.
That's pretty good. I like that.
I must say, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Share that one
nerd.
with
So I can get nerdier, Dan.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You think that's nerdy? But it's my turn.
I still say that Squire Trelane was Q's son.
Oh, of course. Yes. That's obvious. Everybody knows that.
Some people fight you on it, but I'm like, no.
I don't like the Star Trek motion picture is saved by its soundtrack because that's where Goldsmith came up with some of the best Star Trek songs. Like the TNG theme song comes from Star Trek the motion picture.
Right, yeah. So that was cool. But
you've got the V'ger theme, which is one of my favorites, which is just
Oh yeah, that is pretty cool. That's very cool.
I think the musical instrument he used is literally called a blaster beam. So yeah,
it's something. I don't know.
Of course, I can't watch that film anymore without thinking about. Well, we all know the character in question and the shenanigans he supposedly was up to.
Yes, the Seventh Heaven guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. The one who fired Jessica Biel for being risque.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh my god!
But it's okay. I don't think about him. I think of Persis Kambata, and I'm happy again.
Oh, I love Persis Kambata.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
see?
Persis Kambata. She was amazing.
Are you a
In
full man?
fact, for some reason, people have recently discovered my She Wolves of the SS, She Wolves of the Wasteland video.
Very different movie, dude.
Totally, completely different movie. Totally, completely different movie. But Persis Kambata plays the villain in that. She steals the movie.
Yeah, and she was in Nighthawks, which we talked about a few months ago.
Oh,
She
yeah,
was-
we can talk about Nighthawks all night long right there, but yes.
And will, and have again.
We
And
did.
will
Wait a
again.
minute. Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's gone now. Like,
I wonder if I
tears
still
in the
have
rain.
this. Oh, I gotta show this.
This one's for you, De Silva.
Oh, Christ, don't do it. Oh, God damn it, Matt, he killed her.
Oh, wow, he's
Okay, so he was the
acting.
weakest link in his own
He's
starring
just
movie.
devastated. Oh man, deadpan! I can't believe she did that. Oh, he did
Oh,
that.
no,
That's
don't
amazing.
do it.
Ah.
Don't wait, come back.
Wait,
Yeah.
No, it was just. I mean, did you notice how everybody in the little thing was just like tore up that she got murdered? They're like, they didn't
Oh
even
God,
notice.
he did it.
No, he's just like, I can't. That's emoting. Not possible.
Stallone's another one. It's no matter how crappy the movie is, I like the movie with him in it. Now, I can't stand none of that Rocky crap hardly at all, but I like
Oh,
the
come
movie
on.
he's in it. I'm not a Rocky fan, but
Did you ever see
There's-
Rhinestone?
it's got its good parts. But I'm not a boxing
Over the
fan.
top.
I'm not a Rocky fan. I like the part with Hulk Hogan. Are pretty good. Mr. T whooped that butt for him. It has some good points.
When I
But
talk
I
about the
like-
Rocky movies, I'll bring
I
it.
do like most Sylvester Stallone movies, even the crappy ones like City
All
Heat.
of them.
City Heat or Stop or My Mom Will Shoot You. And I enjoy it.
That was kind
I
of.
liked him in Oscar. I thought Oscar was fun.
I like Stallone movies, man.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
mean,
I forgot about Oscar. Yeah.
So Stallone is one of those actors that he's got a reputation, mostly from the Rocky movies, of being like a meathead and an idiot. But then you watch interviews with him or you read some of the things that he's said, and he's actually really smart, and he's not your typical actor. He's not brain rotted, and that always fascinates me when their actual personality is completely different from how we think of them as an actor.
Well, right, yeah.
I've seen that happen quite a few times.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
I've
funny,
seen-
like you see that guy from The Walking Dead, and he's out there all Walking Dead sheriff and stuff.
Yeah.
Then you see an interview with him, and he's like, "Oh, it's really like a little cup of tea right there, buddy." I'm like, "What the hell happened here?"
He's the cue card guy in Love Actually.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Same
So
guy.
many people don't realize that. And it's funny because that's the most troped scene in movie history. It's like, oh my God, you're Sheriff's Deputy Grimes too. It's like
It happened to me with that guy named
Brain tumor.
that guy that plays on the TV show House. I've been watching House forever, and then I was watching the interview, and he's like, "Well, I'm not the tough guy I play on TV," and I'm like, "What the hell?"
I grew up with Hugh Laurie, doing Blackadder and
Blackadder, yeah.
Hugh
Yeah.
and what's his name, Stephen Fry, Laurie and Fry.
Mm.
Like,
Good
I've
Friday,
seen
Lori.
Blackadder a long time ago, but didn't quite make the connection because of the voice.
but when he became House, he was completely turned into a completely different person. His accent is perfect. When they were interviewing for people to play House, they wanted an American because they didn't want to have to deal with any kind of accents. And Hugh Laurie came in and he did his American accent and he got the part before anybody realized he's not actually American.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
he still gets fan mail saying, "I saw you on a talk show the other day. You were putting on some faux
Great
English
British
accent. What's up with
Yeah.
It got me too when I first realized that. It really did.
You know, had the worst American accent of all time has to be Perry from Doctor Who.
Mm.
The Cybermen are after us, Doctor.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No. Worst
Yes,
English
yes.
accent. When you said that, this picture of Keanu Reeves and Dracula popped into my head.
Oh God, that and
Keanu Reeves is
Dangerous
American.
Liaisons.
You know?
That may be the worst, right?
Keanu Reeves trying to do an accent is painful. He even tried to do a Florida accent in the Devil's Advocate, and it's awful. As somebody from Florida, that is not how we talk in Florida. That is how they talk on the moon or something. I don't know what he was doing.
Talk on the
On the moon.
moon. Moon talking.
But again, he was like the weakest link. I thought everyone else in that movie was phenomenal. So I still like the Devil's Advocate. He was just sort of the cardboard cutout that got us from one scene to the next.
I mean, it is a great movie. I do love it, and I love Charlize Theron, and I love.
I like that Dracula. I like that Dracula movie.
Yeah, I like that Dracula movie too. It's one of my favorite Dracula movies. But
really,
it's terrible. As
Really?
Didn't cut it, you know.
I thought Gary Oldman was good, but I thought
Gary
the movie
Oldman's
was-
fantastic.
Well,
Gary
I-
Oldman could read a
I-
phone book, as far as I'm concerned, and
It's
get an
not my
Oscar.
favorite Dracula neither.
No, my
I
favorite
like-
Dracula is
I
still
like-
Bela
I like
Lugosi.
Frank Langella a lot better.
Christopher Lee. I'm sorry.
I mean, I will be talking about Christopher Lee this October. Don't worry.
Don't get me. I'm just like saying is I love Bella as Dracula, but Christopher Lee here. I think he did a better job. You know,
I don't know.
And,
I'm partial to the Frank Langella performances of Dracula in that 80s movie.
nothing wrong with that. No, he did a very solid job.
I think it's a superior movie.
My mom, when I was
superior
growing up, would always
special
watch
effects.
the Louis Jourdan version. I think she had the hots for him.
I like funny things.
Has there been a really bad Dracula other than Al Adamson? You know?
Leah,
Yeah,
Leslie
they
Nielsen?
have actually.
Oh,
Leslie
Yeah.
Nielsen?
It involves
well, that's
He's-
a parody.
I know.
yeah,
it
he's my favorite.
That's a
it
parody.
involves this
course.
guy named Carradine, and there is a word.
Dracula
Really?
does show up in Blade 3. I don't even know the actor who plays him because that movie is god awful. So
I never got to 3.
Hey man, come on now. Blade 3. Blade 3's got Herner Hurst Helmsley from the wrestling in it. That's a good
That's
movie.
true.
Man.
Wrestling.
Leave it alone. It's got Triple H in it, man.
Oh yeah, Andy Warhol's
Wrestling.
Dracula was sick. Oh my god, that
yeah,
movie was
Andy
sick.
Warhol's Dracula is just ugh.
And the Frankenstein is worse. You know? It's like, oh,
It's about as exciting as a can of soup on a wall.
Or a tape banana. That's my favorite. Wow,
Banana.
$1 million for that. Crazy.
Dominic Purcell. Thank you, Indy. Can always count on you.
detergent.
And yeah, Louis Jourdan. There's another mention of Louis Jourdan.
Oh, you mean the villain from Moonraker?
No, that's.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
What's his
Let
name?
me make sure.
Louis
I'm right.
Jourdan's from Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, okay, yes.
Louis Jourdan was not the gay vampire from Interview with a Vampire, was it?
No,
Oh,
that's Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt.
no.
But didn't one of them play Louis Jourdan or whatever?
Oh, Louis. That's not his last name.
Okay.
But no, that was in the book. He is a 13-year-old redheaded French kid or Irish
Stepchild.
kid. I mean,
Oh, that makes it
and
even
in
more
the movie,
disturbing, don't it?
he's played by Antonio Banderas because that makes
Yes.
perfect sense.
Oh,
That just makes it so
yeah.
much more disturbing.
You know, what?
That just makes it so much more disturbing.
Well,
Sarah.
They were already pushing the envelope with Kirsten Dunst, who actually had open mouth kisses Brad Pitt when she was 12. Ew. So I guess they figure, at a 13-year-old boy, this is getting like, you know what? No.
Yeah, there's a lot
Anyways,
of that. If
yeah.
you actually read the books, there's a lot of no, that's not right. That's really not right.
And
What's
that's
wrong
why
with
I
you, Anne
don't
Rice?
read.
Well, there's some images I just can't get out of my head for the rest of the day.
I still have to run another show after this, and I'm just kind of,
Oh wow,
there you go.
Yeah, we all have
Thanks,
another
guys.
show later tonight.
That's horrible, man.
Yes,
right?
you
Yeah,
know
it's true. There you go.
You think this show's bad? Wait till later when we talk about other
Weird
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. There you go.
For a change. We're going to talk about something weird for a change.
Yeah.
It's different. Swear.
Anyway, Dan, I think it is your turn.
Well,
Why not?
I've been going out of my way to think of something that I like that Tug would be going like holding his mouth up and go, dang, Danny actually likes that.
I feel that way
that
whenever you say
possible?
anything that you like.
Well, I worked at that radio station I was telling you about, and they gave me a bunch of records. And there was this box of records in there. And it was a box of movie soundtracks. And I went through the movie soundtracks, and they was like, so many of them by the same same artist group that I was like, wow, I have like 50 albums by this group I never heard of, and I started listening to them. And actually, they appear on a lot of other soundtracks too. But I'm going to go with the first one I listened to, and it was for this one right here. And it is so awesome. It's for a movie called Sorcerer. And I don't know if you're familiar with the movie or the band called Tangerine
I am
Dream.
familiar with the band. I've heard of Sorcerer, but I've never seen it.
The Sorcerer is about a group of people, a group of guys moving loads of dynamite through the mountains. And the dynamite.
Yeah, it's basically an Americanized version of what's it? The Wages of Fear. Yeah.
Yeah, and the dynamite's leaking nitroglycerin. It's a dangerous thing. It's a real cheap movie about carrying some dynamite across mountains. But the soundtracks that's off the chain good. It's by a band called Tangerine Dream. And Tangerine Dream did a lot of other really cool. I had to Google this information because my memory's crap. Sorry, but they did a lot of other really cool soundtracks. They were on the soundtrack for Legend.
That's true. Yep.
They're on the soundtrack for The Key. They did the whole soundtrack for Sorcerer and Thief. And that was really Tita's toe. They're on the Risky Business soundtrack, to Catch Me If You Can, the Fire Starter, the Wavelength, Heartbreakers, Oasis. And I'm skipping a lot of them because they're literally on, my God, 500 soundtracks.
Yeah, you didn't mention one of my favorite soundtracks of theirs, Near Dark.
Huh?
They did the soundtrack for Near Dark. That's one of my favorites of theirs.
Yeah, and they're just one of the all-time best soundtrack bands, and they produce some of the most mesmerizing music you've ever heard. Their music by itself is so tranquil. You can lay at night in the bed listening to the soundtrack. You feel like you're transcending to another plane of existence. It just raises your conscious level. It's really good meditation music. I strongly recommend, if you like music with no words, mostly, just and weird kind of sounds, you'll like Tangerine Dream.
Back when I was in high school, on the rare occasion that I would actually study, I would put on either Tangerine Dream or Evangelise or Enigma. You know, those are the three that I would always listen to, and they would always like help me zen out and focus on what I was trying to study. But I didn't do that very often. So,
but I actually think I wore the
you're on YouTube.
For some reason, I think I wore the Sorcerer album out, playing that music every night when I was laying down to go to sleep, because it was so tranquil and transcendent. So did I do it? Did I surprise you with my choice?
You did. I didn't think you knew about Tangerine Dream, so that's awesome.
And well, this just popped in my head. So basically, Jenny Wright is actually in 2 of the best soundtracks ever made. According to this channel, at least, she was in Near Dark, and she, of course, she's the groupie in Pink Floyd's The Wall.
That's true.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cool connection there.
All in all,
want to take a bath.
Well, that was awful. I won't do that again. All right.
How do you not know about Enigma? Oh my goodness. They had a song on the Slither soundtrack. That works.
They're an Enigma. What can I say?
Slither had a couple of disturbing points in that movie. I'm just saying.
Anyway,
a movie called Slither, you have to expect that.
I know when I played it for the 12-year-olds, they were freaking.
Yes, it's your turn.
Well, since you mentioned Risky Business, I'm going to talk about Bob Seger. I'm going to talk about old time rock and roll, because I know this song is cheesy as hell. I know a lot of people hate it. I actually really like it. It gets me going. I don't know why.
You got that image of him sliding across the floor and then Blamo underwear. It just makes you want to pull your hair out and scream.
Look, Rebecca De Mornay is what I think of when I think of that movie. I don't think about Tom Cruise.
And she was married to Leonard Cohen. What was he so upset about?
Yeah, I know.
What was he so maudlin about? Yeah, she was amazing.
Tom Cruise is another one I'm 50-50 with. I like some of his movies a lot, and I hate other ones with a passion. Most of them I hate with a passion. And the worst one is
I'm 50-50 too, but both of them are you suck.
You get Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise together in Rain Man, and you want to shoot yourself in both sides of the head at one time.
You got to make sure, right? Yeah.
Well, speaking of cardboard cutout, I wanted to love Valkyrie so much I could taste it. I absolutely adore that story. It's one of the best stories of World War II. And I saw it, and literally you could have replaced Tom Cruise with a cardboard cutout. Everyone else in that movie did an outstanding job. But every time Tom Cruise spoke, it was like, you are not a Junker. Do you not have any idea what German nobles acted like? It was.
Look, I have a thing where he doesn't even know what a movie is. Okay, he can't even answer that question. So look, you asked too much for Tom Cruise.
Yeah, he's never seen a movie. I love that.
Yeah.
That is probably one of my favorite conspiracies.
He's never been in a movie either. Ooh.
That would explain everything.
Ooh. And I get it. People love the Mission Impossible movies. I like the first two. I checked out after that, but he
nobody likes the second one. Pawns.
That's why I checked out after 2.
I thought all the Mission Impossible movies was long, drug out, over special effects, and really hard to follow.
And they had Tom Cruise in them.
Well, come on. Look, Buckaroo Banzai had 14 characters to follow.
Dude, that's such a great movie. Gosh, I love that movie. Such a good movie. Yes, I've seen that movie. It's a good movie.
I kind of figured.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
Jonathan Banks is in that movie too, He's one of the directors of the mental asylum.
Right.
He does that thing. He brings John Warfin a package or something, and John Warfin tips him with a Post-it note. He just peels one off like, hey, here's something for your troubles. And I always thought it was the funniest thing. I decided that when I became old and senile, I was going to do that. I'm pretty close to doing it too. Here's something for your troubles, son. Yeah.
So anyway, Bob Seger.
Bob Seger's great, and he actually was on a few soundtracks too. He was on the soundtrack to American Pop. Yep. He's on another soundtrack. I just wouldn't one or the other. He did a music video that was made to look as though it was in a movie with Randy Quaid, and it's funny because just like in the same way the joke was sabotaged by the Beastie Boys. People thought it was an actual show. I remember when I first saw that, I go, "Gee, this movie looks good. What is it?" It's like, no, it's just something real. He did for a shtick.
I have an interesting backstory with Bob Seger. When I was in a blues band and we were trying to come up with a name, we had a neighbor. Like we practiced in this one big house. It was basically just a big hollowed out house. And that was our studio, right? And when we would do our rehearsals or our recordings or something, the neighbor to this house would just walk in and just be there. He was kind of like our mascot. His name was Brian. But every time he'd be like drunk out of his mind, and he'd just go, "That's great and all, but do you know any Bob Seger?" And so like every time I hear Bob Seger, all I can think of is Brian, and I'm just like, man. And we eventually named our band Brian's Front Porch because, like, during one of these sessions, a van randomly ran into his front porch and just demolished it. Like, I don't know what happened. I never got the full story, but we just named our band after it, Brian's Front Porch. So.
Was Chris Farley driving it?
Probably. I don't know.
Thank you for that. Was a stretch. That was a reach. Thank you. Hey, Dan, you still with us?
Yeah, I was looking at.
He's on his phone.
Looked like you were nodding off. Hey, Grandpa, wake up!
I got a text.
That was me last night. I was nodding off on a stream last night. I had to leave. I was falling asleep.
When I was a night out at a hotel, I used to fall asleep standing up.
Mm.
You know how you wake yourself up when you fall asleep standing up? Your elbows hit the counter. It's like, okay, I'm up.
And yes, Randy Quaid is bat guano insane. Yes.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Me turn again?
Yeah, it's your turn again. Go for it.
Yay. You know what? I realized because I was checking my checklist and I hadn't checked off heavy metal. So I'm not going to keep Indian Suspenders, and I'm going to bring up heavy metal, but I'm going to bring up a specific because we're shooting for specific songs.
Yeah.
Heavy metal was one of those movies where I actually had the soundtrack before I actually saw the movie. A buddy of mine was playing it, and I fell in love with it. So I went and I bought it. And like the Rocky Horror and a few others, I actually knew the soundtrack by heart before I actually got a chance to see the movie when it was on HBO, probably a year later. And my absolute favorite song on the entire soundtrack, by the way, someone mentioned Cheap Trick, they were good, and Devo's cover of Working a Coal Mine, but my favorite one was Veterans of a Psychic War by one of my top 3 favorite bands of all time, Blue Oyster Cult. And I fell in love with that song. I just the haunting melody, the intense dialogue, it just the whole thing. I just ate the whole thing up, and I was so monumentally disappointed when I saw the movie because there's only a 20-minute instrumental clip while they're digging up the Lochnar of that song in the entire movie. And that's something that I always thought was really, really funny. You know, when you listen to soundtracks, oftentimes it's hard to actually pick out where the song was in the soundtrack because while they play it in its entirety on the album, in the movie they just use a blurb here, there, or anywhere. But if that wasn't sad enough, I found out years later, and I'm sorry, Tug, you probably heard this story from me at least 4 times.
It's fine, go for it.
Yeah, as I'm sure some of you already know, but for those of you who don't, when the makers of heavy metal approached Blue Oyster Cult to contribute to the soundtrack, they kind of interpreted it as we get to write the soundtrack. They thought they were going to do the entire soundtrack like Queen did for Flash Gordon or Pink Floyd did for Pink Floyd. And they go, no, we want. And they wrote an entire album's worth of songs. And they go, oh, no. We wanted one. Like, no. Now, it worked out for them because they ended up releasing all the other songs on Fire of Unknown Origin. But I think that's why you don't see them a lot on soundtracks. I think they felt so undeniably snubbed by the experience that turned them off it.
Well, they did do the entire soundtrack for the 1992 film Bad Channels, which is more of a topic for tonight.
Right.
Well, I didn't say completely turned off, but certainly. And since I've never heard of Bad Channel, somebody tells me it was not a good experience.
It was a weird one. I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't good either.
I remember that.
Anyway, yeah, the heavy metal soundtrack is fantastic. It's one of my favorite movie soundtracks that I still listen to. Like Danny, when I was a kid, I had pretty much every movie soundtrack. I would just buy them like crazy. But one of the few that I still listen to this day is the heavy metal soundtrack.
It's an amazing soundtrack.
I do skip a couple songs though, I'll admit.
Well, one in particular, the Donald Fagen song.
Yeah.
It's not a bad number. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't go with the rest of the tracks, you know?
Yeah, and the Journey song comes out of left field, Andy. You're right. I mean, I like it because I like Journey, but yeah.
But I used to add that to my mixtapes when I made a mixtape for a special rating. I always had that song in there.
Jeremy. So.
And then I was like, "Did you see the movie? Huh?
I told him he was named after a frog.
Jeremiah
was. It took me a second.
Was a good friend of mine. I actually knew a guy named Jeremiah, and I had to stop singing that song to him because he kept threatening to punch me. And when we go play soccer, he would just totally hip check me, and I go, because he was like 6 something, and I'm like 5'8".
When I was bartending at the Chinese restaurant, there was another bartender named Melissa, and she threatened to not just shut off, but ban from the bar anyone who sang Sweet Melissa to her. And she's had no sense of humor about it. And I don't know if there was a story behind that or if she was just sick of it because she was 30 and had probably heard it every day for her entire life. But no,
I had a girl named Rhonda break up with me on kind of "Help Me, Rhonda, help me, Rhonda." I started hearing it.
Well, what's really funny is everybody can spam me with Sarah songs, and I go yeah, but there's way more than that, and then they stop talking to me.
Oh, Nathaniel, at 7:00, we're going to be doing a show on weird, wacky, wild cult films.
Yeah, I'll simulcast it here on my channel too.
So we'll give you a little preview of what we're going to be talking about. You can Google the movie Chatterbox and watch the trailer, and we'll be discussing that later.
And yeah, I'll bring up Bad Channels, and maybe in honor of you, Nate, I'll bring up Millennium.
And Nathaniel, have you read Space Time and Nathaniel, by the way? Let me know. Probably not. Most people haven't heard of it.
It's really hot outside today.
No, it is.
It's hot in my room.
Yeah, I just mowed the lawn this morning and I was sweating I had to take a shower before stream because of that.
What am I
yeah.
buying?
Huh?
My lawn guy still hasn't showed up. My wife's gonna kill me.
I couldn't get my son to go out and do the backyard. I do the front yard. He does the backyard, but I couldn't get him to move because he's 16. Sometimes he moves like a slug.
Yes. I was 16 once. I remember it.
80.
I'll get
80.
to it.
That's not
80.
so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm from Florida. I'm used to like 103.
It's been like 75 for the last 2 weeks. This is like the hottest day it's been. So it
We
feels
got the
hotter
average,
because you get used to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I'm
nice
with
to have the power back, the AC on. It's a good thing.
The Glory of Love. Wasn't that in Karate Kid 2?
Karate Kid, yes, Karate Kid 2. And it's funny you mentioned that because literally, I was just talking with Mrs. Thrash about that last night. They made it seem like that was going to be like the central theme song of the entire movie, and then when you watch it, there's like this 20-second blurb where they're running on a beach,
Yeah,
and that's
basically.
it. That's the only time you hear the song of the entire movie.
I loved
Well-
that movie. I was the right age. That's
Well,
live or die, man. Live or die. Wrong. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead, Thrash. I'm sorry.
oh no, there's like a fighter jet over my house, and I'm like wondering if I should say goodbye to everyone. No, it's going away.
Who are you angering over there? Is it Pawns?
I have no idea. It's usually such a quiet neighborhood. I don't know why all of a
Are
sudden.
they?
Well,
Is everybody finding out you're Godzilla now? Is that it?
Well, I don't know. For me, you picked the perfect day for the show because this is the first day in 7, and ain't been storming, raining, or a hurricane out here.
Amazing.
We had some rain up here too.
Can't rain all the time.
We had some rain. No, we had nothing but rain for the last 7 days.
Speaking of good movie soundtracks.
I think it rains out here sometimes. I've been known to experience that. Anyways.
And yes, Nate can't actually read. Yeah. We talked about a Brian Aldiss title, and Thrash didn't say anything. It's kind of crazy.
We did. I was gonna say something on the thing. What was the other one we mentioned?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. Indy, let me know which one that you were mentioning that I somehow missed it. You know, but I'm losing my touch if I did. Did someone mention AI? Because I don't count that as a Brian Aldiss movie. It has nothing to do with the short story at all whatsoever. At all, you know. Well,
Thank
right,
you,
there's
Texas
a
Night. At
mechanical
least
boy.
somebody got it.
Someone
And you know,
else say,
speaking of movies that have great soundtracks, Bro, it's pretty
Well,
great.
all right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mm.
it's not my turn. It is Sarah's turn.
Ah, yes. Okay. So, a movie that I don't particularly care for, but it has like one of my most favorite songs of all time in it is oh my gosh, you know, the Disney one with Jack Skellington, right? You know, it's This Is Halloween, This Is Halloween. Yeah, freak, love that song. Movie not so much, but that song,
I love
oh
that.
yeah,
Oh,
give me that
Jesus.
song. Yes.
That is Danny Elfman singing. And he's the voice of the singing voice of Jack Skellington. The spoken voice is actually Chris Sarandon, who you would know from Frightening
Ah,
or Princess Bride.
no kidding.
Yep.
I never knew that.
There you go. Now you know.
And it
Maybe I
was
should
based
make that
on
one of my
battle.
factoids, one of my shorts. I'll do
Thank
that.
you,
I'll
Wendy.
put it on my list.
Awesome. But yeah, I happen to really like that song. I also like that song that Marilyn Manson did, a cover of it. It was like probably my favorite Marilyn Manson song at the time when I was a high schooler, of course. Yeah, I was cool once. Shh, don't tell everybody though.
Can you have a favorite song by somebody whose music you don't like at all? Is that possible?
Yes.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. It's possible. You know. I have a favorite Barbara Streisand song. Ooh.
No, that's just silly, Pons.
Ooh.
That's just silly.
All right, gotta write down voice.
Gee, that brought down the house, didn't it? I'm sorry. We have a lot of bad fans out there.
Sorry, I was distracted.
It's bad when you can say like stuff like, "Well, I've got more than one favorite Beth Midler song."
I do
If
like
you're
her
gonna say
cover
Wind
of A
Beneath
Beast of
My-
Burden.
Wind Beneath My Wings, I'm gonna punch you.
No, but her cover of Beast of Burden is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably the best version of that song, by the way.
You could make that case. And the video's a riot.
And yeah, Indy was
She
just
would
talking
love
about
no.
his
Oh, I really like that. You picked my favorite song by her, by the way. The cover of that.
Okay.
So-
I like Nightmare Before Christmas, and I like all the music, and I like What's This. I like This Is Halloween. I think they're all catchy and they're all good. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I do like it though when at Disneyland they have the Haunted Mansion and then they decorate it like Jack Skellington style like that.
Yeah.
And then they that's a lot of fun. I do like that. That's like cool. But yeah, no, like that movie was just one of my favorite things. And then somebody decided to read it in the 6th grade class I was in, and I was like, oh no. Anyway, so that was terrible. But that song is good.
Yeah. My wife hates that song or hates that whole movie. Like she thinks it's just too weird and creepy.
Oh, it's not that bad.
She hates it.
Well,
she won't let me watch it around her.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh,
no.
I just suddenly had a church lady pop in my head going, well, isn't that special?
I
don't know.
Mercy.
Sorry. Okay, Dan, it is your turn.
I'm going to do a double shot, man. I'm going to talk about a really cool song from a really cool movie next. But the first thing I want to bring up real quick is a really great soundtrack. An awesome soundtrack that rocks. That is in one of the crappiest, worst movies ever made. Can you name what I'm thinking of?
Several.
I'm thinking
Maximum Overdrive.
Oh, okay.
I love the soundtrack for Maximum Overdrive. AC/DC Rockstar House. How could the movie be so much garbage?
It is one of the worst movies ever made, for sure.
It's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. I'll give you that.
Stephen King has apologized about that on several occasions. He even said he was at the height of his coke fiend.
Yeah, exactly.
Status.
He was so cool. He doesn't even really remember making it.
The one truck with that green face on the front of it is probably the coolest thing in the whole movie. So everybody's in agreement with me. I take it that greatest soundtrack ever, worst movie ever.
Yeah, I mean, if you like AC/DC, that's a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's almost entirely AC/DC.
Yeah, I mean, there was the music was good. Hey, look, there's an ant flying on me. That's more memorable than that movie.
But
okay.
I had to get that off the chest. But what I want to talk about for a movie is there's this movie that come out, and it's called Trick or Treat. It's got a soundtrack mostly by a band called Fastway, and it was this one song called "Get You After Midnight" that, for some reason, even after all these years, still creeps into my head once in a while. I can't explain it, but it's one of them songs you don't forget. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
You know, a lot of people have told me I have to see Trick or Treat. Apparently, they say it would be right up my alley. I've never actually seen it. And Fastball, didn't they do that song, The Way?
That's Fastball. He's actually talking about a band called Fast Way, which is confusing.
Oh!
My brain did the same thing, Thrash.
Thank you for clearing that up.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but they somehow this kid uses a curse he finds in an old book or an album cover from the back in the day and does a resurrection spell to bring a rock star from the past back to life.
Well, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it's a good movie, but like Thrash, I haven't gotten around to it.
I remember it being really good, but I don't remember the movie as much as I remember the music from the movie being.
I think I've heard that song, Get You After Midnight. It sounds vaguely familiar, but...
Yeah. A simple song's on YouTube and a mute of the mic and refresh.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, actually.
Years ago, that English comedy show, Spitting Image, they did a special where they were lampooning the Oscars, and I thought it was so funny. One of the Oscars they mentioned is best soundtrack to an otherwise appalling movie, and I thought that was the funniest thing because how often does that happen? It's an absolutely outstanding soundtrack, but the movie itself sucked, you know. And then in the background, you see Lionel Richie accepting the awards. You're like, ah.
The movie I'm talking about is a 1986 horror movie.
Trick or Treat, which I can't believe I haven't seen. But
I have heard the song before. It is very familiar. It's very hair metal. Yeah, it's a good song. I like it.
For some reason, that song It's like something. The one thing I remember about that movie, and I think about that song once in a while.
Okay.
It's very rare. It's very rare that a crappy movie from the '80s has a memorable effect like that for the music.
Actually, it's quite common.
I'm looking at my
Looking out
list.
my back door.
Oh, I've got one where the song is more well known than the actual movie. In fact, a lot of people don't even know the song comes from a movie, and that is "Until the End of the World" by U2, which is from the movie "Until the End of the World," which most people don't even know exists.
Yes, all news to me. All of that. Amazing.
I choose to leave it that way.
Yeah.
Until the End of the World is a great movie, but you have to be kind of a film geek to like it because it's 3 hours
I'm not.
long and it's not really like it's not
Ooh.
structured like a typical movie.
Ah,
It's very film nerdy, but like I love it, and I did a video on it a couple of years ago. And it's about, I mean, the song U2. It's actually one of my favorite U2 songs. It comes from, they put it on the album Achtung Baby, but they wrote it for the movie, and it's in the movie a few times because, like I said, it's a 3 hour long movie, so there's enough time to put it in there more than once. Yeah, great song. I like U2. I know I just lost all of my Irish listeners, but I do like U2.
yeah. Well, there you go. I was going to say that it might be a little bit, well, especially where you brought up a few Thursdays ago. I won't say that now. I just remembered where I'm at. Okay.
Soundtrack.
And yeah, Vim Vendors. You either like this kind of movie or you don't. That's fine. I don't expect everybody to like this movie. I do, because I am a film geek and I have a high tolerance for long ass movies that don't seem to go anywhere until the end.
Then you probably like Hundreds of Beavers. Ooh. That later. I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Yes.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. I wrote a song about beaver fever, but it's not what you think. It's really not.
Couldn't be.
No, it's really not. You have to check it out. I was really sick, okay? No, not like that sick either. Okay. No, I had a fever of 100.
Okay, Thrash, it's your turn.
It is?
Yeah. It is.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
We're going fast.
I was a million miles away. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to go with what the heck? I'm going to go with one of my favorite cult films of all time with an absolutely outstanding soundtrack, Harold and Maude. And much like The Graduate was mostly Simon and Garfunkel, if not all, Harold and Maude, it's all Cat Stevens stuff. Yes. And it's Cat Stevens at his best. And it is so immersive. It almost feels like Cat Stevens is a character in the movie along with the other two. And again, it's one of my favorite 70s cult films. As far as coming-of-age films, I liked it way more than The Graduate. I know parts of it are very sick, and parts you could not. It's one of those films where, you couldn't make that today. You so could not make that film today. I mean, let's face it. The central theme focuses on the Judas option. So it's like, but it's an amazing film. I highly recommend it to everybody. Everyone in the movie is at their best. Even the bit part players. I thought some of them actually stole the movie. But again,
when that movie came
Cat
out,
Stevens alone.
When that movie came out, Pons, I totally hated it. It was on HBO every day for years. But as I've gotten older, I have a different viewpoint of it.
But you're absolutely right, Thrash. It's one of those rare examples where the soundtrack is so perfectly entwined with the movie that you can't separate them. They're like one and the same. Yeah. And I'm not even a huge Cat Stevens fan, but like I feel like his work on Harold and Maude was pitch perfect.
It was a high watermark, if you ask me, of his career. And I never figured out why Bud Cort never achieved star status. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was in a bunch of films and TV, but he never became another Dustin Hoffman. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I know a lot of actors, when they start to get famous, they decide to back away because they don't want that. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a case of that.
Could be.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sarah, I'm sure you've seen Harold and Maude. And you have lots of kids.
You know, when I was a kid, I wasn't really allowed to watch a lot of those kind of shows, right? So I didn't get to watch until I was like way older, and I was like, I never understood why, because that show was just like really good. Plus, you know, Mon herself. I mean, I love her. She's awesome, and I loved her when she sang in Star Wars Holiday Special. That Canteen song is just amazing. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's the highlight of that movie. Wow.
Oh, and yes, Indy. Indy, I actually had a pet salmon once, and his name was Roofy.
You know, there was 2 movies that they run them back to back on HBO all the time, especially in the morning. And the other one was Who's Eating Gilbert Grape and Harold and Maude, and both the movies just made me want to throw up.
Harsh.
Leonardo
They were always
DiCaprio.
on. They never went off. They were always on.
Yeah. Well, you know, there was a time when that was cool stuff. It was weird. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Well, it's your turn, Sarah. So you have to figure out what to tell us.
Okay, so one of my favorite musicals of all time is Paint Your Wagon. And one of my favorite songs that is sung there is from Dirty Harry. What the heck is his name? I can't think of his real name.
Clint Eastwood.
Thank you, Clint Eastwood. Yeah, when he's singing about I talk to the trees, but they don't listen to me. And I'm like, oh, tell me more about this. Anyways, my favorite song from that musical. I highly recommend everybody see that if you haven't. I don't even know how you've existed this far without seeing that and hearing that song. It's just a treasure. Swear to you.
Have you ever heard William Shatner on The Muppets doing If I Could Talk to the Animals? It's really funny.
Yeah.
Animals.
Yeah.
Animal.
It's just
Shatner.
yeah. Yeah, he's been to space.
More than Katy Perry, for sure.
Hey, look, man. Right?
She got a lot of flack for that. She really did.
She got way too much flack for it, honestly. Like,
I think it's funny. I think it's funny. I'm like, why did we hate her now? Oh, because she kind of went to space, but not really, but says she did.
It's just a stupid meme, but, you know, it is.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I'm like,
no. That her astronaut girl alone.
You have the best parts of America that are reverting to cannibalism, and she can afford to take a space flight.
Yeah,
you know, it's the essence of class struggle. You know, so it's like I can understand the anger, but again, it's her money.
Look, if I had the ability to take a semi-space flight or eat, I'm going to take a semi-space flight. Okay, it's going to be better.
When I was in space camp as a kid, I took the semi-space flight. I'm never doing that again.
You went on like a little vomit.
You were in space camp? I never did that. That's cool.
Yeah, they take us up in that. After you be there 2 weeks and you train and they spin you around and all that, then they send you up in a plane and you go floating up there and throw up all over yourself and pee.
Yeah, it's called the vomit comet for a reason.
Yeah, they call it that for a reason. The throwing up wasn't the worst part. It was the peeing all over yourself I didn't like.
How did I not know this, Danny? This is like the coolest thing.
We've talked about that before. I don't know what show it was on, but me and Dan have talked about it before because my brother went to school.
And on top of that, may I also recommend, if you're going to do that, don't eat spaghetti first.
Mom's spaghetti on my vomit comet sweater.
Yeah. Wow, you should be a rapper.
Right? I am. Woo! Suno, everybody. Check me out.
People asking for links. It's a closed panel. There's no link. I don't want to be porn bombed. Thank you.
Right? It's not fun, but Dad still talks to me even though that happens. So, you know, it's amazing. Shared memories. So.
Anyway, Talk to the Trees, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, yes. Okay. Anyways, yeah, it's just a really great song. I mean, the movie itself is great, but man, did I just get like a special treat when that happened. My mom's like, "Hey, you're never gonna believe who sings next," and I'm like, "Oh, right on." It was great. I recommend it. Yeah. Just
okay.
I know it seems like I don't, but I really do.
I believe you. I've just never seen it, so I have no input.
I'm gonna comment on that myself.
I can't wait till everybody reports back. Just you look up that song. Just report back. Let me know what you guys think of it. It's very good. Very funny movie though.
Papa Doc's going to be joining us tonight. That'll be cute, Shrek. I think even Baby Doc is dead. I'm not
Look,
sure.
I think Papa Doc. You know what? Never mind. We're not going to Eminem around here.
Greetings out there, boy. No.
Oh, not the Haitian despot. This is a YouTuber, I say. I thought it. I'm
Well,
Papa Legba. I shouldn't even kid. I
Eyes,
shouldn't
buttons,
even
and
kid.
bows. It's actually on my list, believe it or not.
How about Button?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he
Button.
say Bad Bunny?
No, Button.
I heard button butt. Is that right?
Button. It's a short
What?
story
Oh,
by Ray
Button
Bradbury.
button.
Ray Bradbury. Is it Ray Bradbury? I'm second guessing myself now.
I'm lost again.
Doug.
I think you're right. I think it is Bradbury. Yes.
I think it's Ray Bradbury. Let's go with that.
Aha.
Anyway, what? What? It's Dan's turn.
Oh, goody.
8 Mile reference.
So have I surprised you with my
Better,
answer
Bob.
so far today, Tug?
Yes.
You have absolutely.
That's what I go for because I like to go like Toad to go, dang, I didn't think he even knew about that.
I think I'm going to have a heart attack and die. That's how surprised I am.
So keep it going.
I'm
We're
gonna
kill
go back.
Brad.
I'm gonna go back to music soundtracks for 100 tons, and I'm gonna go back to 1980 when music was just changing, when the world was turning, and movies were carrying the way because it was the movie soundtracks which introduced you to the new bands. That's like I said earlier, how I discovered the word you're gonna say, film, but whatever you call them. I can't even pronounce the band, but Blister in the Sun was a great song. But I'm gonna go back to 1980 and another movie that come out, and it just really kind of changed the landscape of music because it was like the first movie to feature music by Pat Benatar, which was like, wow, Benatar, and it kind of led to the discovery of Pat Benatar. And another band, which is really the kicker for me, was the first time I ever heard Cheap Trick. And it was in the soundtrack from this movie, and the song was called Everything Works If You Let It. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And it's a movie called Roadie with Meatloaf in it.
Meatloaf. Awesome.
About a fat trucker guy who carries the band stuff around and hangs out with the groupies. And it's a song you probably shouldn't let the children watch it, but it's really a great movie for adults.
Isn't Blondie in that movie too?
There's lots of he's carrying.
Yep, I see her listed right here.
He's carrying the road equipment for the rock band, and there's lots of musical people in the movie too. And most people don't even know about Roadie with Meatloaf in it. So
I've never heard of it until now.
But it was the movie which changed the musical landscape from 1980 because it introduced bands like Cheap Trick, Pat Benatar, Eddie Rabbit for a country music band. This was the first movie that featured Styx on the soundtrack that I know of. And most people never even know who Styx was in 1979.
Come on. Oh, well, yeah, back then.
79.
Sure.
Yeah.
Back then, this is before a lot of their big stuff come out.
Before I was born, so
Before
some people might have heard Come Sail Away, which was come out like a year prior, but most people didn't know who Styx was till Mr. Roboto come out.
Mr. Roboto.
Most
That's
people
how I
watched
learned about Styx.
I remember Gato.
But this was it was also the movie that led to the resurgence of Roy Orbison for a little while in the 80s because it was the first soundtrack that kind of brought him back out of the closet. Oh, did I say out of the closet?
That's great.
Well,
It's
David
got a
Lynch
version
helped.
of Ring
That was
of
a bad
Fire
choice
by
of
Blondie
words.
on the soundtrack. It's weird.
Did I surprise you again, though?
You did, because I've never even heard of this movie. So
How can you? Oh, wow. It's one of
I mean,
them
I'm not
movies I like.
surprised that you like Cheap Trick. That doesn't surprise me at all. But I've never heard of the movie. So
And once again, I'm shocked that I come up with something and stuck the Tug.
yeah, I
How
haven't
about
seen
Pond?
it.
Have you heard of it?
I remember seeing trailers for it when I was a kid, but I never actually saw it, which is a pity because I loved Meatloaf when I was a kid. But I think it came and went in my area. Like it was only in the theaters for like a couple of weeks. It bombed in the theaters, if I remember correctly. So I didn't get a chance to see it, but I do remember it. That's how I knew that Blondie was in it. I remember
Well, it was
a
one of
fan
them
Blondie.
movies that around the end of 1980, it come on HBO every night at 3:00 in the morning for a year. I've probably seen it 20 times back in the day. And I can guarantee you, Sarah never seen it, so I win. I have stumped the crew.
Yep,
Yeah,
we managed
yeah.
full sweep.
But nobody's shocked that I haven't seen like half of everything because
Yeah. We always count you as an automatic win.
You've seen just a couple more movies than Tom Cruise.
Whenever I bring up a horror movie,
Who, me?
song,
Woo!
I
At
can't
least I
believe
can
you
say
saw
I've
it.
seen them. You want to know what movie I've seen? I don't know, but I'm sure they're great.
But
You've
once
seen all
again,
the
let me-
TNG
let me-
Star Trek movies. So
Let me point out that being an old guy and I know about the music of the time and the movies that changed the landscape, Roadie was the movie that changed the landscape, launched Meatloaf in his acting career, introduced several bands that nobody ever heard of that turned out to be big names, and re-brought back Roy Orbison. So that's my big pick. And it's also an underrated movie that nobody really knows that much about that I talk to. I know 2 or 3 people like Eric from Our Metal Revolution might know about it. But
Yeah, I know too many Erics too.
we're gonna have
And
to
Bob's
get
apparently. And Bob's, yeah.
Alpha B.
Yeah, I have to go to Dad. Which Bob is this person talking about? He's like, this one. I'm like, okay.
We need to talk about there we go. We need to get Eric on one of our shows when we do something about music or something because he's got the music channel he just launched.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
Well, you know him really well, so you just tell him and he'll be like, yeah, I'm
I'll
totally gonna go.
talk to him. He's been dealing with some knee issues lately. I don't want to bother him. Hospitals and all that.
Well, yeah. Anyways.
I mean, Meatloaf had a great song on the Rocky Horror soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Meatloaf song.
Whatever happened to Saturday
I
Night?
cannot think of one song Meatloaf ever done that I didn't like. And that's rare for me to say about a musical personality.
Oh, I love
Artist.
Meatloaf. I love
That's
his,
fair.
I love that stuff.
I can listen to anything Meatloaf does. I can.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That says more about Jim Steinman. Because he wrote all the songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if I had skills like
when
that.
I was young, you couldn't ride down the road in the car with the radio on without hearing a Meatloaf song.
I can see that. Yeah.
And do you know Bat Out of Hell, which is in my top 10 favorite albums of all time? The cover art was done by Richard Corbin, who is my absolute favorite comic artist of all time. And I remember learning that a couple years ago and going, no, I must have known that before and forgotten it. There's no way I got into my 50s and didn't know Richard Corbin did the cover art for Bat Out of Hell. So I must have known it in the 80s and forgot it, but it's a fun fact.
I will forgive you this time, Pawns.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, we got
some
enough time
absolution
for
or
me and
something.
Thrash to have one more turn if we go fast.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and mention on my list. It's just one word. It's Queen. We've already talked about Bohemian Rhapsody a little bit, but I also wanted to talk about the soundtrack to Flash Gordon, obviously. Flash.
Yeah.
Iconic. But my personal favorite is actually Who Wants to Live Forever from Highlander. I actually really like that song. It's like a weird rock ballad. It's not even really like a rock song. And I don't know. I think it fits Highlander perfectly. That like 80s, it's cheeseball, but like it works so well. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, that's my pick is just Queen.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
Oh. And they were great on soundtracks in the 80s. They were like one of those 80s bands.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I got one for the last round too.
Oh, you want to
Right.
go again? Okay. Well, then let's lightning round it. Thrash. Go.
Oh no.
The 70s cult animated film The Point.
Oh yeah.
I thought the soundtrack to that was outstanding, particularly Me and My Arrow. Every time I hear Me and My Arrow, I think of that. And it's funny because people who know that song don't even realize it came from that amazing animated cult film, which you just don't see anymore. I don't know why they stopped showing it, but they don't show it anymore.
My wife introduced me to it. I had never heard of it until I got married. Yeah.
It's an amazing film, and it's more relevant today than it was when they made it, and they never air it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Sarah, go.
Sorry, speak.
Crud. Yeah, I didn't have anything prepared for a lightning round, so I have to say this. Monty Python has plenty of really good songs in all their movies. I highly recommend you just listen to all of them if you want something extra funny good. Okay? There you are. Also, there's a song about sperm, so
every sperm is sacred.
Yeah.
Classic.
They talk about Mormons in that one. It's very funny. One of my favorites. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, that
Look
always
on
look
the
on
bright side of
Yeah.
life.
Life,
Those are my
yeah.
favorites.
Well, anyways, blessed are the cheesemakers. Anybody? Monty Python. Okay.
He says the Greek shall inherit the earth. Did he happen to catch his name?
Okay, Indy. The thing is, there are two versions of the point. Like the movie's the same, but there's two completely different soundtracks, and like one is narrated by Ringo Starr, one's done by I don't remember, but yeah,
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. Thank you. So yeah, just know that there are two different versions of that movie. The Ringo version is actually the better version, in my opinion.
What do you know, though? You're just awesome. Wait, what?
Well, Ringo has that amazing voice. How could you not enjoy what
Ringo.
Okay, well, that's true. Okay,
I give the
all right.
lateness in my reply.
I was going to jump in the Thames, but it was rain.
Okay, so Danny, this is it. This is your last chance. You said you had one.
I'm going to end it with a real quick. This is the lightning round. I'm not going to take too long. I'm going to end it with a movie that come out which paid homage to eras and eras of music. It featured songs like Hound Dog by Elvis Presley, I Don't Know by Clarence Hendry, songs by Wilson Pickett, Joan Baez, Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater, The Four Tops, Aretha Franklin, Bob Dylan, The Beach Boys, Jackie Dushan,
Bob Dylan.
Dominic Garfunkel. This movie paid tribute to the legacy of music. You could pick any song on here and call it a classic, and that was the movie we call Forrest Gump.
Ah, yes, that is an
Which probably had
amazing
one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard that ever existed.
Tyler
How's that?
Golden movie.
Is that
And it's like so many
like
different
that.
time periods too.
Chocolates.
All these classic songs
Yeah.
from different time periods.
Now,
It's
is that
so-
unexpected?
That was unexpected and a really, really good choice. Probably the best choice that
I love that soundtrack.
Yeah, great movie.
It is a great
It's
soundtrack.
literally any song you can pick off the soundtrack you're gonna like.
Yeah, that is a rare occasion where like every song on the soundtrack is.
And it's from the 50s to the 90s, man.
Yeah, I got you. Totally.
Yeah, that's all I got.
So Dan wins.
Yeah, Snark's right. That movie's basically a
Oh,
synopsis
okay.
of the late 20th century. It pretty much is. Yeah.
But then correctly, time travel wise. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Tug, what's your lightning round?
Oh, you want me to pick another one? Okay, I got one. Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi for Young Guns 2. Look, I'm an 80s kid. I like Bon Jovi. What can I say? Blaze of Glory is a fantastic song. Shot down in a blaze of glory. Yeah, great song.
And I just want to throw out there the Fright Night soundtrack.
Ooh.
I actually went and bought the Fright. I thought the Fright Night was an amazing soundtrack. Particularly Armies of the Night is probably my favorite song on it. But Fright Night is a really good one as well.
Yes, excellent. Oh, Snarky, good call. Another great synopsis of the late 20th century. We didn't start to fire. I know all the words. I do.
Ah,
I'm not going to prove it right now. We don't have time, but I do know. All the words.
yeah. I will say I look forward to the video. We'll play it on Thursday. It'll be great.
I did when I did my shorts for this coming month. I did do another video where I sing on it, but it's I'm singing the lyrics to the Poltergeist theme, which you don't even know exist.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear your rendition of I Talk to the Trees. It's gonna be even better.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Your science channel.
They should have had that song in the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Which M. Night Shyamalan movie?
The one with the killer trees.
Oh, the trees, of course, the happening. I try to repress that. I'm sorry.
It was a horrible, horrible movie, but
That's the movie that finally made me give up on M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
And I'm out.
Well, actually, like
And I'm out.
I was never a fan of his, and everybody was like, "He's the best movie maker ever," and I'm like, "Okay." And then they're like, "He's the worst movie maker." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I what?"
He is, and to this day, I still stand by this. He's a great director. He's a great cinematographer. He's just not a very good storyteller.
Well, anyways, I'm not a fan of him. Saying that out loud. There you go.
Anyway, time is up. So it is time for us to say goodbye.
We'll see you very,
But
very,
we
very
will see you tonight.
Very soon.
7 o'clock thrash time, 6 o'clock tug time,
4 o'clock my time.
4 o'clock Sarah time, right?
I'm in the past.
So,
Lightning Loud, last mention. Brother, Where Art Thou?
Good
Great
soundtrack.
Uh,
Yes, excellent. It's even if you don't like bluegrass, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
I don't like bluegrass, but I like
'Cause
it.
I'm a man of constant sorrow.
Yeah. Anyway, catch you next week. We will probably continue this conversation because I still have a really long list.
I
yeah.
can probably bring up a couple more too, buddy.
Okay. Maybe I'll have you back. Yeah. Anyway,
See you tonight, gang.
see you tonight.
I'm always
And
available
Yeah.
'cause I
be
ain't
sure to
got
check
no
out my
life.
review of Johnny Mnemonic.
Happy trails.
Thank you and good night.